Hello, good evening to you. Welcome to Business. The Africa Development Bank is to raise $800 million for the new owners of the electricity company of Ghana, ECG, Meralco. The deal would be supported by some other financial firms, including Standard Bank South Africa, to raise the funds. The funds are expected to help Meralco fast-track the process of turning around the company. An agreement to close the deal has been signed in South Africa. Amadou Holt is Vice President for Power and Energy at the African Development Bank.
An agreement with A Energy, which is the company that led the consortium that won the concessioning for ECG Ghana, basically, to transform that distribution company, invest in the company so that it can distribute more power, it can be more reliable, so that it can invest more resources in the assets that they will take over to manage, basically, on behalf of ECG Ghana, basically. You know, they won this bid when the government decided to unbundle and concession, right? So now they need to invest about $800 million. $500 million will be led by a consortium of development banks that will be led by the African Development Bank, and $300 million will be led by Standard Bank and other commercial banks as well. So this is really for working capital and for investments, basically, to make the assets more efficient, more reliable, and to be able to do more. What's important is that because African Development Bank has agreed to take on the mandate to raise the money, all the other investors, all the other DFIs will be confident that this will succeed because of the role that the African Development Bank is playing in Africa.
So how much are we looking at here?
Total is 800 million, 500 from the DFIs, and within that 500, a big chunk will come from the African Development Bank, but we don't know how much yet because our board has not approved the transaction. We are the arranger of the overall transaction for the DFI tranche, which is 500 million, and the commercial banking tranche, which is 300 million, will be done by Standard Bank of South Africa.
Chief Executive of the Petroleum Commission, Egbert Faibille Jr., has expressed Ghana's commitment to maintaining transparency of payment systems in the country's oil sector. The assurance comes as Ghana hosts an exclusive licensing round in Cape Town, South Africa. Darrell Kwao has the latest from the ongoing Africa Oil Week conference.
Chief Executive Officer of the Petroleum Commission, Egbert Faibille Jr., has started Ghana's attempts to woo foreign investors as blocks are up for bids and direct negotiations. He's been answering questions at a prospect forum here at the Cape Town International Convention Center.
Companies like Tullow, Cosmos, Petro SA and the rest were in the Jubilee Fields, as well as ENI, are practical examples of the transparency in Ghana's payment systems when it comes to carried interest and cost oil as against profit oil. So our record is there, unassailable in the sub-region, and I think that you have not heard of any litigation anywhere between Ghana and any investor with respect to earnings from producing fields.
One of the issues we had until September last year was obviously the border dispute.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't want to answer the question, fine. From my perspective, as someone who is attracting interest into Ghana, it was a sticking issue, it was a problem. Once that had been declared legally as of September last year, 2017, as not an issue, therefore it was thrown out of court, that clearly has made a difference, certainly to us in terms of attracting people. Are you willing to comment on that in terms of being clean and gone and no longer an issue within Ghana? Because it clearly was an issue to people around the world. And again, I understand if you don't want to answer the question, but I think it's important to bring up.
It is a major de-risking factor. That ruling of IDLOS was a major de-risking factor in our upstream sector. And I'm able to tell you that our president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, His Excellency, and his brother, Ouattara of Cote d'Ivoire, I should say, actually post the ruling, decided that West Africa should be able to set an example for all other countries that have been involved in maritime disputes. So a joint committee has been set up between the two nations. I'm a member of that committee, and the two nations are working together. There have been meetings in Ghana and also in Abidjan towards a joint implementation of that. So both countries do not see it as a victory for any other side. It is about respect for, the ruling of the court and a joint working together to ensure that the ruling, trickles down and that there will not be any skirmishes or differences whatsoever once again. I'm happy to report that that philosophy, that mentality is very much existent in the two leaders, that is of Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana, and also our peoples.
Mr. Fable also added that the country was poised to improve local content and was looking forward to opportunities to expand local content in the oil and gas sector. Darryl Kwao, Cape Town, South Africa.
The fourth industrial revolution is in full effect across the globe, and businesses across the payments, fintech and e-commerce space have gathered in Accra for a two-day annual forum that brings together key stakeholders in the digital business community to explore new ways to leverage advantages of ever-evolving terrain to impact socio-economic development. Joy Business caught up with some of the participants who shared their thoughts on the future of payments and the financial inclusion.
For us, Bitcoin is going to be and is going to be just another option for customers to purchase on Jumia, right? So as we do today in Jumia, you can pay with mobile money, you can pay for bank transfer, you can pay with the cash on delivery, and we're going to keep on integrating more and more services with Jumia Pay as an aggregator of mobile payment solutions. Cryptocurrency, once confirmed to be a sustainable currency in the market where we're operating, will just be another payment that can be integrated in our aggregator of payment systems.
A lot of banks, especially the likes of EcoBank, have stepped into the space aggressively. And today, EcoBank gives the ability for a consumer to open a bank account just with their mobile phone. As long as, but of course, we are riding on the back of the success of mobile money. As long as you have an active mobile money account registered, means we have your KYC sitting with a telco. You can actually yourself either via USSD for those who don't have smartphones, *770#, or via our mobile app, the EcoBank mobile app, or actually, as we will show to the world pretty soon, you can go through Facebook Messenger to do your banking, and you can actually open an account from there, what we call an express account that allows you basically to transact, make payments, transfer money, do everything that a regular bank account will do. And we're really proud of that because we think that begins to crack the issue of financial inclusion.
A National Cybersecurity Center is to be commissioned soon. Deputy Minister of Communications Vincent Sowa Odote says the center will liaise with relevant state agencies and the private sector to oversee cybersecurity operations in the country. Vincent Sowa Odote spoke with Joy Business at the World Summit Awards Grand Jury meeting organized here in Accra in partnership with GCNet. Here's more in this report.
Cybercrime, if not checked, can undermine e-government initiatives such as the National Identification System, the Digital Addressing System, e-payment, and digital financial systems. It is against this background that government established the National Cybersecurity Center. According to the Deputy Minister of Communications, Vincent Sowa Odote, though the center is currently in operation, it is yet to be commissioned.
We've scaled up awareness. Recently, we had a National Cybersecurity Month. We have set up, for the first time in the history of Ghana, we have set a National Cybersecurity Center, which is going to coordinate all the operational aspects and everything to do with national cybersecurity at the operational level. That's why we also inaugurated the communication cert by the president for NCA. That same day, we went to do one for the financial sector, the Bank of Ghana directive on operation. We are going to roll out all the sectoral sector. Every sector of the economy is going to have a computer emergency response team.
On his part, the Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng, called for a more drastic approach to technological issues in the country. He said it's about time the country developed its capacity for the manufacturing of machines to aid production.
As we think about the digital world, let's also think about the physical thing, because when you want to exploit your gold, your diamond, your manganese, you want to dig for oil, you use physical things, machines, things to do that. And not until we learn to do basic things for ourselves, machines to process food for us, to prevent post-harvest losses, to cook for us, to do things for us, will still be deficient in the totality of our lives.
The event brought a group of experts from various countries to review innovation projects in Ghana and across the world.
And that's all in business on Joy News Prime. For more business news, log on to myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Emmanuel Apoachi. Have a good evening.